How are we going, everyone? Just cleaning up the garden bed. Now, as far as spring planting, I said about a week ago or two that I've started planting my spring, but the way the weather is going at the moment, that my spring plants that is, the way the weather is going at the moment, it's just gone cold again. It's going to be 14 degrees tomorrow, and that's the Melbourne weather temperature. Here it'll be about 12, 100% rain. At the moment it feels like about 9 degrees, and it's got a chill factor and a half, that wind that's coming through. That's coming from the southeast at the moment, the wind, which is really cold. It's almost like ice caps. Now, I've been preparing the garden bed. I've been doing a bit of a clean-up. I got rid of my broad beans. I left a couple. Well, my better half harvested all the broad beans because they were flattened. We've got the other ones up there that have been tied up to the framework, which is great. This one here, we just left a couple just for the hell of it to see what we can get out of them. But we're going to collect our pods for next year's planting off the other batch over there. The other thing here, nitrogen fixing nodules. For those who haven't seen these before, and I know many of you have, there's not many left on this plant here because I've taken them off. These are nature's own fertilizers. Can you see that there? That tiny little thing there? I'll see if I can find more of them. Well, look, they're all over the roots here. See the lumps on the roots? Here, for example, there. See that little lump, that nodule that's developed? That's called a nitrogen nodule. Basically what that is, well, when the plant starts to grow its roots in the ground, it gets inoculated by a root bacteria, or a rhizome bacterium they call it. It's just a bacteria that connects with the roots. It works with the roots. It gets into the plant's roots, and then as the plant starts to grow and absorb, it does its photosynthesis to create the sugars, what these nodules do, or these little bacteriums that are sitting inside there, they're actually sucking in the nitrogen out of the air and storing it in there, and then feeding it back into the plant as it needs it. And what I've done is now, because my plants got destroyed by the weather, except for those ones there, I've taken out all the plants, and I got excited and I thought, well, if these little nodules, let me find some here, you can see them there, you can see them better, have a look at that, see that? If these little nodules, see these here? Have a look at these. See, if these here are actually bacteria that's inoculated with the root system, and it actually stores the nitrogen and feeds the plant back again. If it can do it like that, I reckon if we take them off and throw them back in the garden, it's our own nitrogen fertilizer. This is what I'm doing. Now, there are different stages of these becoming completely active, and this is its early stage form. So they need to discolor. They tend to go a little bit pinkish. That's when you know that they're actually working, they've done their job, and they're feeding the plant again. Now, last year, when my beans finished, they didn't finish this early. They were actually a lot later, but the bad weather this year has caused them to finish off early. What I did with them back then is I actually cut them off and left the roots, the entire root in the ground, with it to decay, to break down and release back into the soil. This year, I want to plant in this bed, and I've prepared this the way I've prepared the other beds. I've put my chicken manure, black grit, charcoal, worm castings underneath, and a little bit of bark, turned that in, got my irrigation in there too, so it's actually snaking through the garden bed. You can see the other one there, which hasn't been covered over as yet. I've done that with there, and I've put my bean straw on top of it, and I've taken my nodules off and I've put it in there. And if I have put too much in there, well, I've got the black grit, which will kind of counterbalance that for us. So that's going to get ready now. Well, that is ready now for planting. This bed's going to be a parsley bed, so the endives are coming out. The oregano is going to get cut back down so it's nice and tight and bushy, and the thyme on the other side is doing well. This needs a little bit of mulching, and that's ready to go. And honestly, I don't even think I'm ready to plant out this garden yet. If I cover it, and I think I'm going to end up covering it all like I've done with the netting there, the wildlife-friendly bird netting, and the mulch, that'll give them enough protection from the cold weather, and hopefully the tomatoes can take off. Because the other ones have taken off. The soil temperature is still very low, so I'm concerned about the soil temperature not rising high enough. See this bed here, we planted this 3 or 4 days ago. We've got the white netting on there, the tomatoes are in there. They're not doing a hell of a lot at the moment. I'll give them another 4 or 5 days. Hopefully they'll start to bounce out. But I anticipate by the end of next week, and possibly later, by the mid following week, I'll have these garden beds completely planted out. I'm stagnating my planting because look at this weather. I'm in an open environment, so if I had a little, oh, wait a second. Oh, he just turned away. I'm going to get out of there. That's why I'm putting netting up, so they can't do that anymore. And he got to my spaghetti gourd. Oh, you bugger. I let this rot out completely, and that's the seed that's viable, very viable. I've got about 50 seeds, I reckon, in there. What are you doing? You want this? You want this? No, you're not going to have that. You already chewed it. No. So these are my spaghetti gourds I'm going to plant back in the garden, because it does work like that, nature's own way. My little babies, have a look at them. My little malakas, they're going to become big malakas. Oh yeah, if you haven't signed up to it or joined the group, that is a big malaka tomato competition group. It's on Facebook. Join the group there. You'll meet a lot of wonderful gardeners who share like-minded ideas and gardening techniques. It's all about caring and sharing in the garden, so join that group. And one more thing before I go, Vasily's Garden to Kitchen magazine, the summer edition is coming out 1st of December. All news agencies across Australia and all our VIP members will receive theirs in their mail. It'll be in transit, if not already in their hands, to enjoy. If you're not a subscriber yet to the magazine, get onto it now. Only $39.99. You get 4 magazines delivered to you for the year. That's 4 different issues, one in each season, and you get access to all the back copies. There's over 30 editions that we've released so far, so much content there. Garden topics, folk stories, community gardens, recipes, health and medicinal, fruit tree pruning, grafting tips. So much content that you can't not find what you need in our magazines. It's Vasily's Garden to Kitchen, available from our website, the subscription that is, and you get 30 reward points back into your account once you subscribe. So it's all at vasilysgarden.com. Check it out. From me, Vasily, Maresi. See you tomorrow.